So what that is right there is that is Bradford talking to the fellas that are going to build out our open pole barn to make it a closed pole barn. So whereas you might see a couple guys talking, I see progress. Yay!
Welcome back to our channel, folks. My name is Brad.
I'm Deb.
And today we have just met with the contractor that's going to build out our pole barn. We built this pole barn in February-ish of 2021. We're now well into 2022, and we thought this would be done already, but there's just a lot of things, a lot of headwinds and factors in play with trying to get things built in 2022. But we just met with him, we went over all the finer details, and we signed the deposit. But what we wanted to do is kind of do a before video and talk about what we're going to do in this space. So anything you want to add to that, or did I cover it?
You covered it, but I'm very excited because we've had the pole barn built, and the pole barn will be my critter barn too, in addition to a couple other things we'll talk about. So seeing this go from an open space to my big red pole barn is very exciting to me.
Okay, so what we got here is each one of these bays are 12 foot wide, and we have a 60 by 32 foot wide pole barn. And that's what we're going to focus on, is this portion of the pole barn. It's not all going to get built out in this video or this series, so there'll be more building at a later date. But right here we'll start. We're going to have a 9 by 8 roll up door, and this is going to go into a shop with an 8-foot ceiling. We're going to have ceiling joists, I guess, running across the top here, and an upper deck. So you'll come in here, there'll be an entry door right there, and that entry door will go to my parents' house. So it'll be easy access for my dad to get to this shop. And then we'll have 2 windows along this bay. At this end, there'll also be a window, so that'll give him a nice space, 12 by 32 space, concrete floor, and we're gonna have 60 amp power in here for lights, probably 220 circuit for welder or air compressor, and then some general circuits just for skill saws and battery chargers and things like that. We plan on spray foaming the south wall because that's where most of the heat loading will come in, and we'll also spray foam the east wall where the sun rises in the east. So that'll be this space here. And now this 12 by 12 section here is what we call our feed room, and this is how we'll feed the animals. But for right now, we're not going to put a wall here. We're going to have a header, and this will be open space like an L. So you'll walk in here to the feed room. Once you're in the feed room, we'll have a window that goes here to the east, and then we'll have a door from the feed room to the actual pole barn. So you'll come here, I think right about here, and you'll have a door, and you'll walk out into the pole barn. And we'll have shelves and medicine for animals and just whatever else you need in the feed room, tack room, just different things you need to take care of animals. That's what we'll have in this area. And this will be lofted as well. So then you walk through here, you open the door, and now you'll be in the pole barn. So as you come out here, it's going to be completely lofted up here. We're going to have, I believe, 2 by 6 ceiling joist or floor joist, and then 3/4 plywood, and we're going to have a set of 3-foot steps, custom built, and we'll walk up to the loft to get up to the loft here. So that'll take up some of this space. And then this area in here is all reserved for animal stalls. As part of the build that you're going to see in this particular series, or part 1 of this series, you're going to see an 8-foot wall of sheet metal. And the construction of this is all going to be 2 by 6 outer walls, and then this will all be horizontal barn red inside, just like the outside. So when you walk in the pole barn, it'll be barn red in here on horizontal. So this will be horizontal sheet metal up to 8 foot. And then from there up to the top, it'll be 4-inch square cattle panels or pig panels, and that will allow airflow to come into the building. And that'll be down this whole wall. It'll be framed with 2x4s, treated 2x4s, up to the 8-foot mark, and then however much we need framing after that to hold up the metal panels. And what that does is it lets airflow come in, but it doesn't allow things like raccoons, bobcats, etc. to come in up over the top. Now that'll continue all the way down to here, and that's where we're going to stop. We're going to stop right here. Have that east wall done, and then the shop done. Now additionally, because we have a lot of hurricanes and tornadoes and high winds, we're going to run 3/8 steel cable from these J-bolts up to the trusses. We're going to do it on one side of the 10-foot door opening and one side there. And this will be open for now, but eventually this gable end will get closed in with that 10 by 10 roll up, and sheet metal, but we're not doing that right now. Our priority is to get that shop done. So we'll have those supports there so that these trusses can't be lifted up by the wind. And when we do the other end, we're also going to integrate those 3/8 steel cables along with the wood framing to hold those trusses down to the concrete. So that's what's going to get done in this video series, or this first of this series of building out the pole barn. But I'm going to grab the camera and put it on Deb, and she's going to talk about animals, and she's shaking her head, but she's going to talk about animals and what's going to happen in this dirt area of the pole barn.
He doesn't give me any kind of indication. He just says speak, my little poodle.
All right, it's a little dark in here, but go ahead. What do you envision in here?
Okay, so what I envision in here is the big roll-up door that will allow me to bring my side-by-side in, or the tractor in, to clean out stalls, to fill the feed room, to put up hay, to get hay. But we measured out at one point in time, we measured out the stalls that will go on this side, and again, the middle area will be clear, and then on this side too. We're still, we kind of know what animals we want. I want mini animals. I want a couple mini cows, a couple mini horses, some pygmy goats, and a couple alpaca. That's what I would like. So we'll have to figure out the exact configuration at that point in time, but that's kind of what we're thinking. So
Deb's got the general idea of what she wants in here, but as far as how the stalls will be built, we don't know exactly, but we left this dirt so that we can pitch out the poop. We pitch out the poop and the straw that we put down in here, and that's why we elected not to go with concrete all the way through here. But the stalls will run on this side, and we're not sure how they'll go. We kind of would like that sliding door effect to open the stalls, but we just don't know how open they'll be yet. But what we do want to do is to utilize the space above it. We may frame above the stalls so that we can put storage, whether it's hay or something above the stalls, maybe drop the hay right directly into the stalls. And on this side, we're going to go with that same thing of maybe an 8-foot tall tin or sheet metal, and barn red sheet metal, and then the cattle panels up top, or the pig panels up top, to allow the airflow. But then this whole side would be stalls as well. And Deb mentioned driving through the center with the tractor or the side-by-side, and you take the front end loader of the tractor and you pitch the stalls, and then you put it out into the pastures. And then those stalls would come all the way probably up to this area. And then this area would be fenced by some way so that you'd be able to get in and out of the pole barn without the animals trying to run you over. So there's probably going to be some sort of fencing here, and then when you step into this area, this is where the madness will be. This is where all the animals will be. Okay, well, that's just a quick intro of what we're going to get done here. This will be a series. We don't know if this will just be one video of here's the complete build of the inside of the pole barn, or if we'll stage it out there in multiple videos. We'll shoot the footage and see how interesting it is. But stay tuned, because that's what's coming here at Piney Grove. Okay, folks, we're going to end this video with a shout out to 2 channels, and then a special shout out. And it's not something I normally do, but I think it's really important that I do this one. But to begin with, we're going to start out with Weichart Acres. So we got Dirk Weichart out there in Iowa, and he's got a channel, a YouTube channel he's trying to grow. And Dirk has a Kubota tractor like I do, so we got that going on. But what Dirk has going on is he's doing a barn dominium. So he's doing a lot of work out there prepping for that barn dominium. He takes some awesome drone footage of the prep work and the view that he'll have out of that barn dominium. So go check out his channel. But thank you, Dirk, for the sticker. And again, Weichart Acres on YouTube. Now the second sticker we have is Pale Horse Outdoors. But David out there at Pale Horse Outdoors, I think I found his video because he was doing some fence prep. He has a Kubota tractor, and he's an expert with that Kubota tractor. He has a grapple, and he loves his grapple. You know what I'm talking about, David. And he was using that grapple to pull out that old fence. And we had some old fence to pull out, so I was looking at YouTube videos of how to pull out old fencing. And I think that's how I found David. David is the Inspector Gadget of Kubota tractors. If you go to David's channel, you will find that he likes to do product reviews, and he likes to use products. He's got a big tool rack hanging off the back of his tractor. He's got this log vise thing off the back of the tool rack. He's got chainsaw scabbards. He's got all sorts of things on the tractor, and he's really, really good at reviewing things. So it's a good channel to go if you're looking at things to put on your tractor. So check out David, Inspector Gadget at Pale Horse Outdoors. Thank you for the sticker, and we appreciate the friendship. And last but not least, not a YouTube channel, not really anything associated with YouTube that I know of, but if you go back to a video where Precious, our excavator, was broken, we took it into the Kubota dealer, and there was a great good news story on that. So watch part 2 of that, where Kubota actually covered the swing motor out of warranty. It was a $5,000 part, and Kubota covered it. But what I didn't talk about in that video is that there was a labor aspect to that repair. So it was a $6,000 repair, and we paid $1,200 in labor or something like that. We bought that excavator from Iron Horse, let me read it so it's correct, Iron Horse Rentals and Sales Equipment out of the east coast of Florida. I think it's West Palm Beach. And Jeff out at Iron Horse actually delivered that excavator right there to that little portion of the pasture. When we found the radiator leak, Jeff was like, all right, boom, I'll pay for the radiator leak. Just all sorts of things. He was very upfront. And here it is almost a year later, our excavator goes in for repair, and Jeff always told us, he said, if you have an issue with your equipment, give us a chance. He goes, I'm not going to guarantee we can fix it or that we can help you out, but give us a chance. But I reached out to Jeff at Iron Horse, and he said, if Kubota will cover the part, I'll cover the labor. And I thought, okay, you know, that is great. But again, the check is in the mail. Sure enough, a week later, we got the check for the full amount of the labor.
Well, not only did he stand behind it, but he didn't even balk at it. I mean, there wasn't even any hesitation to him. He knew who we were, even though it was a year ago. He remembered selling us the excavator. He remembered coming up here, and he didn't even question it. He did call Kubota to find out exactly what the problem was, and then he wrote the check. It was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. So shout out to Jeff, and just wanted to include that as part of the shout out here. That's going to wrap up this update video. We gave you an update on what's going to happen in our pole barn, and we did some shout outs for 2 YouTube channels and Jeff out at Iron Horse. I'm going to hand it over to Deb for some parting thoughts.
I'm just excited for everything. I'm excited to see the big red barn get built, and even though we won't have animals in it for a couple of years, it's still another step forward, and it's progress. We appreciate the support of the YouTube community. We appreciate Iron Horse. We appreciate you guys for watching. So that's all we got for you. If you enjoyed it, we appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
Take care, y'all.